Hey, good day, folks. Better Crops by Barker video series. It's Thursday, August 8th, 2020. Great to be alive in this wonderful country. Hey, we're back today. We're going to talk about primarily about wheat. But before we get to that, it sure was great to see, especially for you folks north of St. Mary's, up through St. Paul's and through to Stratford, that had missed a lot of June and July rainfall that over here we were blessed to get. It was getting a little bit desperate over there, and as you all know and experienced, but the rain came. We were here everywhere 2, 3, 4, 5 inches in one particular area, and certainly that rain has finally broke the back of the drought. You'll be surprised, you folks that were dry and had corn that was wrapping up pretty tight and suffering variable growth. Soybeans that almost kind of quit flowering, but you'll be shocked when we get a nice August and September. Crops will still respond to the moisture, still respond to the longer days we still have yet to go in August into September. Usually if you can break drought stress on or about August 1st, with the day's genetics, they have an amazing ability to grain fill and pound on weight in both the corn and the bean crops. So that's the good news. We'll probably look at that a little bit more in detail in another session or two. But today we're really here. We've had a number of questions to talk about wheat. We've had a number of questions asking us, you had some nitrogen rate stuff. What'd you learn? What happened on varieties and those kinds of things. So we want to focus on that today. As if you had watched the series about a couple of issues back, 1 or 2 issues back, I showed some drone footage of a nitrogen rate trial that we had here at home. We had a basic of 150 pounds, and we went on one strip of the sprayer 120 feet at 200 pounds. Split nitrogen, of course. First strip went on or about first week in April. Second application went on or about the first week in May. We had a similar deal at Brian's too that I never did show drone footage of, but over there, his base rate was 135 pounds, and he tried to strip as well at kind of in that 180 range. If you listen to Peter Johnson, he and Joanna Follings, the provincial wheat specialist, set up a number of trials this year looking at the 125 pound of N basic rate going to 180. And if you hear what he talks about there, he certainly got significant 6 bushel seems to be the number, 6, 5, 6, 7 bushel response to that added boost of nitrogen. Here on our own, where I went 150 to 200 pounds, again, we got 6 bushel. Our low end rate was in the 128 range. Our strips out of the high end rate, full length of the field, full length of the farm, averaged about 133. We got a pretty good solid 5, almost 6 bushel response out of it for that extra 50 pounds of N. At Brian's place, again, similar thing. The 135 pounds cranked out 113 bushel. The higher end kicked out 119 bushel. Again, that's 6 bushel. Kind of number for extra 50 pounds of N. So obviously, there's no question penciling that out. That does pay. We want to talk about this though, because it's not something that is going to work 100% of the time. But wheat is an extremely management responsive crop. It is the most management responsive crop, an input responsive crop, I should say, of all the main field crops that we grow. And I would challenge all of you that regardless of your yield level, of course every farm doesn't yield the same, some have more potential than others. And certainly if the farm's got 85, 90 bushel yield potential, whether you push it a little bit, it's debatable whether it'll respond, but it still would, you've got to try, in my view, if you're going to get a little bit further down the trail. But here's how I look at it. If you grow 90, 95 bushel consistently, you should be able to grow 100. If you grow 100 consistently, you should be able to grow 105 to 110. Same thing. Like I'm used to pushing out here, we're here on my own home farm here at outside Woodham. I'm used to growing 110, 115 bushel wheat, and I think I can years grow 120, and that's essentially what happened this year. So you can do it if you try. If you're perfectly satisfied with 100 bushel, and that's just lovely, and that's what you feel comfortable with, and all respect, 100 bushel is a pretty decent yield. But if you really interested in trying a few different things to push it to that next level, I know you can do it. You just have to try. So in our case, what we found certainly the most easiest way to do it is by boosting in. It has worked for us in the past. This is in the first year we've tried this. It has worked and will continue to work. Does it work for everybody? No, we have to be a little bit careful with this extra N, because if you are a livestock producer, you take corn silage off and you layer on some liquid manure after corn silage and plant wheat, 150, 200 pounds in would be the wrong thing to do next spring. That's just too much. We've flattened wheat doing that, been there, seen that, done that. So if you're corn silage, liquid manure, wheat, just be a little careful in pushing that end rate, because you'll have flat wheat. But for those of us that are in a cash crop environment, where we don't have that manure lingering around that complicates the system a little bit from a nitrogen point of view, we can up the end. We can work with that a little bit. Now, again, it's not all kittens and rainbows. This year we had the opportunity to split. We had the opportunity to put N on in good conditions 1st of April. We had a good opportunity there just about corn planting time to come out and supplement that with a split N. That doesn't work every year. We've been around this trail a lot of times, and there's many Aprils where we do not get the opportunity. It just stays too wet and miserable through into March, into the middle of April, and you just don't get an opportunity to go out there, at least a very good opportunity to go out there 1st of April and put N on. Tends to come that you end up sliding in close to corn planting time, and then the debate about splits becomes a bit of a moot point. And we all kind of resort back to that one trip. To put 180 pounds of N on wheat, one trip across the field in April, about the time we should be planting corn, my sprayer operator doesn't really enjoy that, and I understand why. That's a slow boat to China. And so there's some issues and problems with applying that much nitrogen on or about planting corn time, and doing that over a lot of acres is a difficult thing to manage around. However, all that being said, if I'll come back, nitrogen will make wheat. So play with it on your own ground. Experiment with it. See what it will do. It's not hard to do. Just put strips in. It's really simple. Yield monitors, the scales and buggies make all this stuff really easy to measure. And certainly when you have significant yield advantages or yield differences, they will show up. So I just challenge everybody, try some things. Just do something a little different to see if you can, again, take that crop with little help, and God willing, a little blessing from Mother Nature will help you boost that crop up that next little bit. And it makes you feel good when you can do that, and there's no question. As far as varieties, real quick, we've got good supplies of both 25R74, 25R61, and our own plot, which I will attach to this. Certainly there are two top varieties in our own plot, and those are the varieties we're going to be going forward. R61, for those of you who want some straw, a little bit extra height, a little more straw potential, still maintain good grain yields, 25R61 is your choice. For the other balanced cash crop world that isn't quite so concerned about straw, R74 certainly, I'm kind of taking a pick-em-on approach to the two varieties. We think they're very similar in yield, standability, etc. Disease tolerances are pretty good across them. R61 has a little bit of a weaker strike rust tolerance, but boy, we fungicide that early. That's no issue to work around. We've seen that in the past with 25R46. We can manage that and get along quite easily. Other than that, again, supplies are good. We'll be in touch over the next month and seeing what you exactly need. If you got anything else, give us a shout. Other than that, hey, have a great weekend. Crops are we're at a period where you probably can spend some real quality time with friends and loved ones over the weekend. Keep your social distancing intact and all those good things. And we'll be back and talk to you again in the near future. Thank you.